Good evening, St. John Lutheran Church family and friends.
And good evening, Epiphany Lutheran Church and friends, and welcome to Friday Night Fun Night.
Friday Night Fun Night, yes.
By the way, I know it's not baseball season yet, but I am wearing this cap tonight in honor of two things. In honor of two deaths that have happened over these past few days, which also has a huge connection to Atlanta. Number one, longtime broadcaster for the Atlanta Braves, Don Sutton, who was a longtime pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers that I grew up with. And also with Hank Aaron's death, just that we found out today. I wear it in his honor as well because his tie-breaking home run, the one that put him ahead of Babe Ruth to give him at the time the most career home runs, was done against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I didn't know that.
Al Bennett.
Okay,
So
I didn't know that.
yes.
Yes, we both mourn the loss of both of them, and especially Hank Aaron today. What an amazing, not only baseball player, but an amazing man. And my friend Maria was just sharing about reading his autobiography and the horrible things he experienced as a black man playing baseball, and his fear the day that he actually broke the record. He was afraid someone was out going to kill him, and I just heard a story about it on NPR today saying that he had plainclothes security guards there, and they were worried that someone was going to attack or kill him. And but those, if you have ever seen the picture of it or watched it, you know that two young men jumped out and ran with him as he made his way around the bases, and fortunately nothing happened to him, but a lot of horrible things happened to him during his time serving because of him being a black man. And baseball not only owes him a debt of gratitude, but our community, our Atlanta, he's made a difference for a number of people in a variety of ways, and it's just very sad to me to lose him today. I keep thinking about all the baseball greats in this last year, not calendar, but in the last 12 months, there's been many a wonderful baseball player that I grew up with, and so we're sad to lose them. So my hat is in honor of the Hunger Walk. This is the Champions Club. You have to raise, I think it's $1,000 to get the hat. I actually raised more than $1,000 several times and used to serve on the Hunger Walk board before I had Christopher. And actually some information came out this week that I need to send on. There is going to be a Hunger Walk, but I believe it's going to be virtual this year. But the Community Food Bank, Atlanta Community Food Bank, and Inspiritus, formerly Lutheran Services of Georgia, who we support. And also a portion comes back to each of our congregations to use for hunger ministries in our community. And so there will be a walk this year, and so I will make sure Pastor David gets the information, and also we'll make sure that we get the information out, because St. John had, I think, over 20 of us going to the walk 2 years ago. So I'm just wanting to remind her that it may be January, and it may be cold here, although I know it's colder in Illinois for those who are watching in the Midwest, but March will be coming, and I believe, if I saw correctly, the Hunger Walk this year will be in March. So I just wanted to lift that up a little bit. So
All right.
well, you can
Are
start.
we ready to have fun?
Yeah, whatever that may mean.
All right. So tonight, I have a list, and I'll bring it up when it's around President's Week too. But I thought, with the inauguration this past week, it would be the perfect time, since I've been coming up with random and useless facts for you. I thought it was the perfect time to be able to come up with random and useless facts about the presidents. So hopefully you find it fun. I had fun trying to put it together. So for example, who was the only president that ever held the job of a hangman?
Boy, I have no idea. I've never even heard any of them had.
Grover Cleveland.
That's interesting.
And did you know who was the only president to ever hold the job as a bartender?
No.
Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
He was a licensed bartender, and he was co-owner of Berry and Lincoln, a saloon in Springfield, Illinois. So
I didn't know that they were licensed bartenders there.
yeah, there was licensed bartenders at
Wow,
that time.
that's interesting.
So,
I guess they probably had to have a license in order to have liquor in their place.
yeah.
That's probably what it was, because I don't think you have to have a license to be a bartender today.
I'm not sure.
You have to have a clue what
Yes.
you're doing, but
Yes. But
I don't think you have to.
another thing is here you go. One more is that James Madison and Thomas Jefferson were once arrested together. Do you know why they were arrested?
No.
They were taking a carriage ride in the countryside of Vermont on a Sunday, and that violated the laws of the state.
Probably
And
blue
they were
laws.
arrested because they were taking a carriage
Because you
ride.
couldn't do things on Sunday.
Yeah, yes.
So this isn't going to be the answer that you think it is. I'm clarifying that beforehand.
Okay.
But you want to know who the craziest president of all time was?
Who says that? Who?
Well, Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson apparently got into 16 different duels and won every single one of them.
Oh, actually, I don't think I put that. I don't think I included that. Actually, you're wrong. You're wrong. He participated in 100 duels in his lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, and he won all of them.
Yes.
And when he was first
Wow.
inaugurated in as president, he had a huge party outside of the White House, and he snuck off, and they almost burned down the White House.
Well, who's the one that had the big thing of cheese? There was.
Oh,
I
the
remember
fat
that
one.
from when I was a
I didn't
kid.
see
The
that.
fat one.
There
Oh,
was
I see
there
that.
was a huge, like massively big. I still remember this as a kid. Massively like rotund big cheese that was out because people literally would go to the White House, like just
I don't
like
know.
people
No.
like you and me would
I
just
know
go.
what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember.
By the way, speaking of crazy little facts, did you know that that in Japan there was a new word that entered the Japanese language due to a president of the United States? The new word that got developed in Japanese, the word is, I'm going to horribly pronounce this, bushusuru. And bushusuru means to do the Bush thing. And what's the Bush thing? What was Bush known to
Did
do?
he throw up?
He threw up in public. He threw up on the Japanese prime minister.
Shoot, wasn't it?
Because of that, the Japanese created a word for vomiting in public. So,
I'm pretty sure the cheese was Grover Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see that one.
Do you remember that?
I remember. I think it's.
I
Grover
just
Cle-
remember as a kid because I like to read
There's
president's
a
books as a
president.
kid.
I don't. I think it's Grover Cleveland, but there's a president that had a lot of pictures at the time that they would do, and the main political cartoon would be like him as like a really fat person in like a tub. I know.
No, that's William Howard Taft.
William
That's
Howard
probably
Taft.
William Howard Taft. Then.
Okay, yeah.
William Howard Taft is known as the heaviest president. I just saw this at 325 pounds, and he was known to get stuck in the bathtub in the White House and had to have some of his assistants at the White House get him out of
I
the
think
tub.
they should have built him a bigger
They
bathtub
probably should have.
because I don't.
So-
It wasn't hooked into like what we would have plumbing today.
Yeah.
It was probably like you see when you see movies
Those
where they
separate
poured the water onto them because they didn't have a way
And
to.
the final fact for the time being is who was the first president to talk on the telephone?
Woodrow Wilson.
No, James Garfield. James Garfield was the
Wow.
first president. He spoke to Alexander Graham Bell on the telephone,
Really?
who was 13 miles away. And the words he said on the telephone were, "Please speak a little more slowly."
Huh.
Oh yeah, I can't share fully this fact about a president because we have children watching. But Lyndon B. Johnson had a. Well, I'm not going to share the full fact, but he had an obsession with something. So
There was a few facts that I left off myself. So,
Yeah.
Pastor Mary, what do you have for us?
Well, I had winter jokes last week. I'm still doing winter jokes. Probably you get them for one more week, and then we'll go into Valentine's Day. Things about Valentine's Day I'll do for February. So, because for me, we have friends, we have members that have birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. It's nice that there are things to celebrate in January. I hope you're counting your blessings every day, but a few more jokes about winter. This one is kind of interesting because I was saying today about, and I don't know if it's just not being reported, but I don't know anyone that's had the flu this winter. And I don't know, you have not had the flu.
Not me, but I know people.
So anyway.
Or a cold because we're all wearing masks. So, because the joke is, how do you prevent a summer cold?
Get it in the winter?
Catch it in the winter.
Yeah, it's in the winter.
What does daylight savings time mean in Seattle?
Not a whole lot.
An extra hour of rain.
There we go.
What do you call? I don't know. Never mind that one. It's kind of dumb. I don't know if I said this one. What is a mountain's favorite type of candy? Snow caps. What did the snowman and his wife put over their baby's crib?
What's that?
A snowmobile.
Oh,
What do you call a snowman that tells tall tales?
okay.
A snowflake. What do I know. Whatever.
Okay.
What do snowmen eat for lunch? Icebergers. What do you get from sitting on the snow too long?
Cold butt.
A Polaroid.
Oh.
Can bees fly in the rain? This is for you Georgia Tech fans. Not without their yellow jackets.
Oh, very cute.
Let's see. These are from Reader's Digest, so yes, Sherry, I have your book up there. I should have looked in it. I will look for jokes from it from next week. Sherry Tidwell had given me a book of jokes from Reader's Digest. What is the Mexican weather report? A chili today and a hot tamale. What did the evaporating raindrops say? I'm going to pieces. What did the hailstorm say to the roof?
Okay.
Hang on to your shingles. This will be no ordinary sprinkles.
Okay.
Kind of cute. What do you call a wet bear? A drizzly bear. What do you call 2 straight days of rain in Seattle? Pick it on, Seattle. A weekend.
Oh,
A weekend.
okay.
A weekend.
So there we go.
Yeah. Why did the man use ketchup in the rain? Because it was raining cats and hot dogs.
Okay.
What did the one raindrop say to the other?
Okay.
Two's company, three's a cloud. Why does Snoop Dogg need an umbrella? For drizzle. For shizzle, you know he does for shizzle, for drizzle. Yeah, I know. If you don't know, Snoop Dogg, you won't know about Snoop
I'm
Dogg.
not gonna
So.
sing
No,
the Snoop
okay.
Dogg song.
So who gave the shortest inauguration speech? By the way, it wasn't a very long inauguration speech.
No, it wasn't, but it's good, but it wasn't long. No.
So who was the shortest one?
I have no idea because I know Bill Clinton's went on.
Well, no,
and
certainly
on
it wasn't Bill
and
Clinton.
on and on.
George Washington made the shortest inauguration speech on record, 133 words and less than 2 minutes long. Now, even though people might remember Bill Clinton for being particularly long-winded, he did not give the longest inauguration speech.
All right, who was that?
The longest inauguration speech was William Henry Harrison. It was 8,578 words. It lasted for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And the unfortunate result of William Henry Harrison's longest inauguration speech in history is that because of the bad weather, he died from pneumonia a month later.
Yes.
He was the shortest presidency on record.
Oh my
as well.
goodness. You would think the
So-
man would have gotten a clue.
Yeah. So a couple
Wow.
of things about
Even
James.
those preachers don't preach that
That's
long.
right. Well, most.
Even though people may think we preach too
That's
long.
it.
We are nothing compared to.
So here's a couple other little things about James Garfield.
All right.
Speaking of short presidency, James Garfield was only president for 6 months. But James Garfield, I remember reading this somewhere else and it came up here, could write Latin with one hand and Greek with the other at the
Wow.
same time.
I'm sure he did that as a party
So,
trick at many
I'm
parties.
sure he probably did.
Look what I can do.
But the interesting thing is, even though he was shot, I did not know this until I read this. He did not die from gunshot wounds from the assassin's gun. Instead, he died of blood poisoning after doctors and experts, and one of them included Alexander Graham Bell, tried to remove the bullet from his back with their dirty fingers and instruments. It caused him to linger in pain for 80 days before dying. So I thought that was interesting that he did not.
You know, it's interesting you say that I had to go to a retinal specialist. Everything's fine. I just, my eye doctor wanted me to get something checked because I don't have a floater. I have this stuff that looks like a film goes over my right eye a lot. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and the lady who, you know, they had to do certain tests and stuff, and she was saying, you know, we cleaned before this, but now we really clean. And I said, you know, I was just sitting here thinking about it's like an extra layer of just protection now, you know. And you think about stuff like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, just horrible. Which, by the way, my eye, what the doctor said is that it's the gel in my eye that's causing the problem, and we'll just keep an eye on it. But I'm very thankful. No, my macular looks great. I say that because my mom had macular, and two of my aunts. One of my aunts, Aunt Rita, has been living 10 years with dry macular, which is the way you want it to be. But anyway, I digress. So
Who was the first Roman Catholic to be president?
John F. Kennedy, as my parents would say.
What other two firsts did John F. Kennedy also hold?
He was the youngest president, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Youngest president elected, not the youngest to become president. The youngest to become president was actually Teddy Roosevelt when he took over for William McKinley after William McKinley's death. But there's two other firsts.
Oh, was he the first Irish person?
No. The two other firsts is he was the first Boy Scout to be elected president.
Oh, Boy Scout. Oh.
And he was the first president to be born in the 20th century. So.
We've not had our first. Samuel will probably live to see the first president born in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Of which you are born in the 21st century.
Ugh.
Well, you're born in it.
Ugh.
Listen. If you don't want to get old, then die young, because, you know.
Well, and the other thing I found interesting, where is this one that I thought that you would be interested in? You know, we're going to, there haven't been pets for the last 4 years in the White House, but we're going to have pets in the White House.
Yeah, but they
again.
can't bring them in right now because the White House is not ready for them.
Oh, okay. But they are going to be. But I thought this was kind of interesting that there's been some interesting pets in the past.
Oh, I just heard about one.
So one of the strangest was probably the pet alligator that John Quincy Adams is said to have kept for 2 months in the bathtub of the White House's East Room bathroom. So
what about the raccoon?
I didn't read about the raccoon, but it also mentioned in here too that Andrew Jackson, back to crazy Andrew Jackson that Sam was mentioning, had a foul-mouthed pet parrot named Pole, who famously squawked obscenities during his funeral. Mm-hmm.
During his funeral, that's really good.
So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, he was a really terrible person. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being his judge. You know, he was unusual.
Well,
100 duels is pretty bad.
Yeah,
I must say he must like to really.
He killed 100 people.
Well, did they all die or they all just got shot?
Yeah, that's what a duel is.
And
I know that.
And you do know who had a private bowling alley installed in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon, yes. Richard Nixon had a private bowling alley put into the White House. So.
Yes, it's interesting to see what stuff gets put into.
And what president was probably the biggest movie buff?
Obama?
No. Jimmy Carter.
Oh.
It is said, first of all, that Ronald Reagan, while he was president, watched 363 movies during his 2 terms in office. Jimmy Carter, it is said, watched more than 400 in his 1 term in office.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So it says, in fact, it says here, among the many flicks that Carter watched in the White House were Apocalypse Now, Shane, Alien, The Empire Strikes Back, All the President's Men, Airplane, and Caddyshack. And he also the film that he also very much went that says it was the least presidential film of all time that was there he also saw Animal House in the White House. So,
Well, I was going to say, you saying all those movies make me think about that era because those were all big movies at the time. They were all great movies. They were all fun. I mean, you know, Smokey and the Bandit, oh my gosh, I love that movie. Still love that movie. Great movie. Wow. Well, it's fun to remember, and anybody who was paying attention probably knows that the Carters did not make the trip. This is the first inauguration. They have not attended since Jimmy Carter was no longer president. They were at every inauguration of both parties, but because of their health, and I'm personally glad they stayed home because nobody would want anything to happen to them. Well, President Jimmy Carter is now 96 years old. When you think about the fact that he has survived brain cancer, I mean, he's been through it. And he actually, I was sad because I never made it down. He's actually now retired as a Sunday school teacher from what I read in Plains, Georgia. It was always my goal. I did get to hear him speak. When I lived in Kansas City, I went to a National Habitat for Humanity convention that was there, and I went to hear Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy, wait a minute. No, he was not president because I lived in Kansas City from 83 to 88 before I went to seminary. But anybody who knows about Jimmy Carter knows his many, many decades of involvement in building houses for Habitat for Humanity. So, all right, a few more jokes, and then we're going to sing. When does it rain money? When there's a change in the weather. What is a king's favorite kind of precipitation?
What is it?
A hail. You know, a hail. Well, here's another one. Close. Why did the woman go outdoors with her purse open? Because she expected some change in the weather. What's the difference between a horse and the weather? One is reined up and the other rains down. What happens when the fog lifts in California? UCLA. You have to know, you know UCLA? Yeah. Whatever happened to the cow that was lifted in the air by the tornado? An utter disaster. What did the lightning bolt say to the other lightning bolt? You're shocking. What type of cloud is so lazy because it will never get up?
what's that?
Fog. What type of lightning likes to play sports? Ball lightning. What does a cloud wear under his raincoat?
What's that?
Thunderwear. I like that one. How do hurricanes see?
With their eye.
With one eye.
With one eye. There we go.
And where do snowmen keep their money?
Okay, in the snowbank.
In a snowbank.
In a snowbank.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So tonight, Christopher. Well, we're gonna see if Christopher comes down here in a moment. But before we get Christopher to come down, are you ready to play? Take me out.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Sam's gonna help us in honor of
Hank
especially
Aaron and
Hank
Don
Aaron
Sutton.
and Don Sutton and the entire
We've sung it before,
new
but,
National Baseball
now
League.
listen. If we start out on one,
Just y'all start and I'll play with you.
take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. I should have said,
Cubbies.
I should have said
Cubbies was
the
perfect.
Braves, though. The Braves.
Cubbies was perfect. They are the best team of all time, and I will defend that.
They're not the best team of all
No,
time.
no.
With that,
We won in
with that, we're gonna
2016.
see if we can get. Now, Christopher tonight has requested to hear the one song that he's asked to play tonight. That he's
Well, you'll
been
learn
asked
a lot
to
of
sing
songs
tonight.
you didn't know
Yeah.
if Christopher comes and sings because
So he sometimes when we go out on a walk, we get to hear the entire VeggieTale collection. So this is going to be a song from VeggieTales from the song Josh and the Big Wall, and it's he wants to sing "Keep Walking," and it's about when the people of Jericho, when Joshua is walking around Jericho, people of Jericho make fun of Josh, who's played by Larry the Cucumber, and they end up pouring slushies on their heads. So anyway, you got to know VeggieTales to appreciate it. So whether we catch all the words to it when we do this, well, I can at least pick up on his chorus. So Christopher, are you ready to sing?
Running.
Okay, come here.
Can we hear some else sing walking, keep walking?
Are we gonna sing "Keep Walking"? I
you
just
say
told
hello?
everybody. Can you
Can you say hello,
say
everybody?
Hi, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so you ready to do "Keep Walking"?
Ready to sing walk, keep walking.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
ready?
And you don't have to do the musical instruments. All you have to do is sing. Okay.
Okay.
Is
All right,
Samuel
ready?
playing the music?
Ready? Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
we'll
wait. Sam's gonna play the music. Ready?
Go.
Hold on a minute. Look at Sam go.
Oh, that's a great idea. You go ahead and keep walking.
Walking.
But he isn't gonna fall. It's plain to see. Your legs are very small. Just keep walking.
Looking at our wall. You silly little pancake. You silly little peas. You sit some walking around. Racing your knees. The awesome hearts on me lonely. Baby, they will strengthen up.
But down here in the other sun,
Yes, I believe. Then we jump on and we. What? You need my ear to little song. It will be honor. Keep walking, but you wanna walk. Keep walking, but she isn't gonna fall. It's funny to see, and we're not very small to be walking. We're not gonna walk. Keep walking, walking.
But she isn't gonna fall.
It's plain to see, over here is small to be walking, but we're not gonna walk. It's plain to see, singing rhythm is small to be walking, but we're not getting down our wall.
All right.
What
Take
happens?
a bow. Take
What
a bow.
happens? What happens? Does the wall fall down?
Yes.
Yes, the wall falls down.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. Can you say goodnight to everybody?
Good night, everybody.
All right.
So just some prayer requests. I asked Debbie Sackbar from church about George, and she just asked for keep praying. She said that she worked at Spalding County Hospital, that's in Griffin, for those of you who aren't from that area, and that the hospital is overflowing with people. They have them down the hallways. They were in need of 30 beds. That it's just, as we've been told, the numbers are very high, and there's a lot of people sick. So she's just asked for continued prayer for George as he's in the hospital fighting with COVID. So we just prayed for the best. And Alan Tuffarella called tonight too, and just asked for prayers of peace and comfort for Jason. Also, my friend Matt, whose mom has had COVID, he's the one I've shared about who's come over. He's from Minnesota, but he's been teaching at a Lutheran seminary in Hong Kong and came to be with his mom who's had COVID and she's on hospice up in Cumming. And he's just asked for prayers for their family, to be able to agree on things with his mom, and just, he's weary. And I said, these things are tough. These things are hard. So if you could please keep George in your prayers, keep Alan Tuffarella and Jason and all of their family in your prayers, and George's family in prayer, and also for Matt and his mom and whatever time she has left, just for peace in his family. So it's been really, it's January is what they said it was going to be. We're grateful for the many people who've been able to get shots. I know there's a number who can't. I know we're facing some difficult times of there not being enough shots, but I'm thankful for those who are helping others be able to find shots for those who want them, and we just keep looking out for each other and keep caring for each other. I shared this the other night, but I also want to remember the teachers in Cobb County. 3 teachers have died in the last week or so in Cobb County, and that's been a very, very difficult thing. Such a loss. And Amy Drogmiller from our church, our youth director who's a teacher, said that 3 of her 8th grade students had parents die last week of COVID. So it's really, this still continues to be a very devastating viral disease, and we just pray for everyone to look out for each other and take care of each other. We will have our annual meeting online on Sunday at noon. You will receive, if you haven't already, the Zoom contact. And if you notice that it's the same numbers as the Zoom coffee hour at 11 before it, it's because when you have a Zoom account, it gives you the same numbers to use for every event. It's part of, that's your distinct Zoom code. So Epiphany has their own, and St. John has their own, and so if they look familiar or the same, it's because they are. So you should have received that. If you have not, please let me know. And worship will be, as you know, online at 10 o'clock. So.
And along with that, it's not just down in Spalding. I mean, I got to hear from the Rockdale County commissioners in their office, and we got to hear on a pastor's call just yesterday. The numbers are bad. I mean, that's the only way to say it. I mean, the one thing that I know both of our churches have talked about, that on the advice of the synod, is that we can't even begin to think about moving church inside at all until the positivity rate is 5%. Well, let me just tell you, I heard yesterday from the Rockdale County commissioners, remember 5% is the number that we got to be before we begin thinking about moving back in. The number for Rockdale County was at 21.8% as of yesterday. I mean, so in
Spalding area is at least 20.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty the
we
same.
heard 10%
Yeah.
from the Senate. So
10, yeah. Well, 10 is when you can begin to think about it. The goal is 5, but they actually
yeah,
is
well,
what they're
for
saying.
indoor, yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
we're holding
So,
off on.
So anyway,
anything.
it's just more to say that. But and I would probably, what I would probably say in terms of one other prayer request that both Pastor Mary and I have is we want to hold up especially the family and friends of a dear friend of ours, Don Jones, back in Bloomington, Illinois. Don is 50 years old. Was 50 years old.
51.
51.
He made it to his
51.
birthday.
Died of pancreatic cancer just this past week, and leaves behind his wife and our dear friend Rachel, and 2 daughters, Lexi and Kenzie, and their son Caden. So
Yeah.
Lexi and Sam have been good friends for a very, very long time.
Since they were 2 and 1 years old.
But we hold up the Jones family.
Yeah, and ask for prayers of comfort and peace in this difficult time for them. So, yeah.
And by the way, Pastor Mary was mentioning about St. John's annual meeting. Epiphany folk, ours is a week later. Ours will be, the Zoom information will be in the announcements that you'll receive, and we will be sending that out as well, but it will be on Sunday, January 31st at 1 o'clock. We'll have some practice sessions for, if there's anyone out there that wants some practice sessions. We'll have a practice session Sunday afternoon and then Wednesday night as well. But anyway, that's what we have.
Yeah, so no devotions or fun time Saturday, but Sunday we'll have worship at 10, and Epiphany will have worship at 11. Look for us online. Sam will get it set up and we'll share, and we'll be off on Monday and back with devotions on Tuesday. If you have any prayer requests, whether it's just to let us know personally or to share with others, please feel free to get a hold of us as always. And again, let's continue to pray for all of our first responders and all those working in the hospitals, all those who work on the front lines, those who keep stores and places open, those who take a chance when they're around so many other people, and let's just do our best to keep each other safe.
And probably in the immortal words as our son Christopher, who just joined us, as I discovered, and Pastor Mary doesn't even know this, but when we went for a walk today, he has learned what NBC News Lester Holt concludes his nightly news with all the time now. So Christopher announced it. He says, Lester Holt says, be kind to yourself and to others.
And they shared tonight that Tom Brokaw is retiring after 55 years of being on NBC. I grew up watching CBS and NBC Nightly News. It was part of our family. I've watched Tom Brokaw for many a year, and that was really neat to hear. 55 years serving for NBC and their other stations. So we'll miss him as part of someone who always has loved nightly news. So, all right. Well, we wish you a wonderful weekend wherever you may be. Stay warm in the Midwest. We know it's going to be really cold. We're getting, I think, some more rain, I heard.
Yep.
So
But not tomorrow.
Stay safe, stay warm, stay looking out for each other, and
Be kind to yourself and to others.
and may the Lord bless you and keep you.
May the Lord make his face shine on you.
May the Lord be gracious to you and look upon you with peace. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Night, everyone.
Good night.